Move on to the 10th round. Here, I'm demonstrating with a small sample. This round has one side. You need to connect it to the first motif. Pick up the corresponding yarn. Then join the yarn in the center single crochet on the stitch of the half double crochet on the left side. Make one chain as your beginning chain. Work one single crochet in the same position. Continue working single crochets into each stitch in sequence. Keep working until you reach the position before the chain. When you get to the corresponding position, pick up the chain and work 2 single crochets. Turn the fabric upside down. Then pick up the insertion point for the increase on the left side. And work 1 single crochet. Next, you need to create an arc. Specifically a right arc. The method is similar to the last round of the arc in motif 1, but the insertion points are slightly different. Work in the 1 stitch on the left side of the 3 double crochets in the 8th round. Then in the 1 stitch on the left side of the 5 double crochets in the 7th round, and in the 1 double crochet on the left side, as well as the 1 double crochet corresponding to the top. Pick up the strand and yarn over. Then insert the hook into the stitch on the inner side. Yarn over. And then pull through the first 3 loops on the hook. I will start crocheting from here. Then yarn over and pull through the next 3 loops on the hook. Then yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops on the hook. This completes the right curve. Next, place the piece right side up. Identify the insertion point of the slip stitch. Make 1 single crochet. Now we will work on the left curve. First, I'll point out the positions. Work in the 3rd double crochet of the 3 double crochets, and in the 2 stitches on the left side of the 5 double crochets, and in the 3rd stitch on the left side of the 3 double crochets. Yarn over and pick up a stitch. Then insert the hook into the 1st stitch on the left side of the 3 double crochets. Now I'll start crocheting. Yarn over and pull through the first 3 loops on the hook. Finally, yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops on the hook. This completes the left curve. Next, pick up the position above the chain stitch. Make 2 single crochets. I consider the 2 chain stitches and the area between them as one corner. Continue crocheting the edging. At this position on the side, you need to work and join along the side of the first motif. First, pick up the stitch on the left and work 3 single crochets corresponding to each stitch. Next, you need to connect. The method for connecting is: first, enlarge the loop on the crochet hook. Remove the hook, then pick up the first motif. Align the sides that need to be connected. Then, treat the 2 chain stitches and the space between them on the first motif as a corner. On the corresponding side, count down from the top to the 4th single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's this stitch. You can also count from the curve. From the right curve, count from left to right to the 7th stitch. Then, insert the hook into the front side. And pull through the loop that was left. This completes one connection. Next, return to motif 2. And continue crocheting 4 single crochets. Then, make another connection. Follow the same method. Stretch the loop. Remove the hook. Find a joining point on motif 1. The 4th stitch on the right side. Pick up the stitch and insert the hook. Pull through the loop. Adjust slightly. Another connection is complete. Return to motif 2, and continue crocheting 4 single crochets. When you reach the single crochet position, pick up the stitch below the double crochet. Work a single crochet front post stitch. Then start from the half double crochet position on the left side, and correspondingly make 3 single crochets. Then join. Here, connect with the single crochet front post stitch on motif 1. At the 4th stitch on the right side. Return to motif 2 and continue crocheting 4 single crochets. Then join. Connect with the 4th stitch on the right side of the previous joining point. Continue crocheting downward. When you reach the corner position, no connection is needed here. At this point, one side of motif 2 is connected to motif 1. The remaining part does not need to be connected. Follow the previous method and correspondingly crochet. At the corner position, pay attention to crocheting the curve. At the centered single crochet position, pick up below the double crochet and work a front post double crochet. For the rest of the positions, work single crochets correspondingly. You can also refer to the chart for specifics. Finally, join with a slip stitch into the starting single crochet. Pull tight. Cut the yarn. Hide the yarn tail on the wrong side. Motif 2 is now completed. It is connected to one side of motif 1. Moving forward, follow the same joining method for motif 2. Work and join as you go. Pay attention to alternating between motif 2 and motif 1. Regardless of which motif you are connecting, the method is the same. Refer to the chart to find the corresponding joining point. The chart will have a connection line marked above the corresponding stitch. Before working the corresponding stitch, stretch the loop first. After drawing the yarn through, return to the current motif and continue crocheting. That completes one connection. One side will have 4 connection points. The connection points on both sides are symmetrical. Everyone, complete this part. Now we've finished explaining the large motif section. Next, we'll crochet and connect the small motifs. There are 2 shapes. I'll call them the 4 corner motifs and the 2 corner motifs. Let's start with the 4 corner motifs. Use the magic ring method. Crochet outwards in rounds counterclockwise. We'll use a new stitch technique, the DC4 popcorn stitch. Please watch me demonstrate. Start with a magic ring. Then crochet a DC4 popcorn stitch. From now on, I'll just call it the popcorn stitch. First, make 3 chain stitches as the beginning chain. These 3 chains count as 1 double crochet, then crochet 3 double crochets. Next, stretch the loop. Remove the hook. Add a turning chain here. That makes a total of 4 double crochets. Find the 3rd chain from the turning chain. Pick up 2 loops and insert the hook. Draw through the loop that was left. The fabric will stand out. Secure it with a chain stitch. The popcorn stitch is complete. Crochet 2 chain stitches for transition. Then pick up the center and crochet 1 slip stitch. I consider the completed part as one group. Continue crocheting another group like this. Start with a popcorn stitch. That's 3 chain stitches. 3 double crochets. Release the loop. Insert the hook from above the chain. Draw the loop through. The fabric will stand out. Crochet 1 chain stitch to secure. Chain 2 for the transition. Pick up the stitch and crochet 1 slip stitch. Another group is complete. Repeat this process to make 2 more groups. After completing, pull the loop to close the stitches. Then cut the yarn. Weave the yarn tail into the wrong side of the fabric. Now the first round is completed. Move on to the second round. You need to crochet and join as you go. Start by picking up any popcorn stitch. Pick up the chain stitch position, where it starts. Pick it up and join the yarn. Then make 1 chain stitch to start. Correspondingly, crochet 1 single crochet. Pick up the V-shaped loop directly above the popcorn stitch. This is the chain stitch that was secured. Crochet 1 half double crochet. Crochet 1 double crochet. Then proceed with the connection. Find any gap between large motifs. At any position of one of the 4 motifs. Find the back of the curve. The position of the slip stitch between the chains. Pick up the braid formed by the slip stitch to connect. Here, crochet a slip stitch to connect. Insert the hook into the braid of the slip stitch from the back of the fabric. Crochet 1 slip stitch. This completes the connection. Then return to the popcorn stitch. Continue picking up the braid and crochet 1 double crochet. One half double crochet. In the adjacent hole formed by 2 chain stitches, crochet 1 single crochet. Then pick up the braid of the slip stitch below, and crochet 1 slip stitch. At this point, consider the crocheted part as one group, then continue crocheting 3 such groups, and connect each group. First, pick up the hole on the left and crochet 1 single crochet. Then pick up the braid directly above the popcorn stitch, and crochet 1/2 double crochet, 1 double crochet. Then, following the crochet sequence, connect with the corresponding slip stitch position of the next large motif, using a slip stitch. Return to the popcorn stitch, and continue crocheting 1 double crochet, 1/2 double crochet. Pick up the adjacent hole and crochet 1 single crochet. Then pick up the braid below the slip stitch. And crochet 1 slip stitch. Another group is completed. Then, follow this method. Continue crocheting and connecting 2 groups. Finish the last group. Move down and crochet 1 slip stitch into the beginning single crochet. You can tighten or not tighten the yarn. Now, the second round of the 4-corner motif is completed. Fasten off the yarn. Hide all the yarn tails on the wrong side of the fabric. This completes the connection of 1 4-corner motif. Refer to the chart below, and connect the 4-corner motifs at the corresponding positions. The method is the same. Everyone should complete this. Next, I'll explain the 2-corner motif. The method is similar to the 4-corner motif, but it has 2 fewer corners. The first round still involves crocheting the popcorn stitch. Here, you will crochet 2 groups. For the second round, join the yarn in the starting chain, then continue crocheting downwards. When crocheting, at the top, pick the corresponding positions of 2 motifs to connect them. The connections are made with slip stitches. The final slip stitch goes into the starting chain. After completing, fasten off the yarn and weave in the ends. No new stitch techniques or methods are used. Everyone can refer to the chart to complete it. At this point, the 2-corner motifs have been explained. Up to this point, all the motifs and their connections have been fully explained. Next, we will crochet the edging. Crochet around the outer edges of the motifs in rounds. A variety of stitch techniques are used. The charts have all the markings. I won't go through each one individually. Please watch my demonstration. First, crochet the first round. Here, I'm demonstrating with a small swatch. Find any corner motif position. On its right side, find the unconnected corner position. Locate the position of the slip stitch below. Pick up the braid to join the yarn. Then, make 4 chain stitches to start. In the same position, crochet 1 treble crochet. Wrap the yarn around the hook twice. Insert the hook. Yarn over and draw through. Then, yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat this 3 times. Once, twice, 3 times. Complete the treble crochet. Next, skip 2 single crochets to the left. Pick up the stitch and crochet a back post double crochet, yarn over with the hook. Insert the hook from behind into the corresponding stitch position. Then, come out through the left stitch. Pick up the position above the single crochet from behind, yarn over and draw through. Follow the technique for double crochet, yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat this 2 times. Complete the back post double crochet, work an adjacent back post half double crochet, yarn over with the hook. Insert the hook from behind into the left stitch. Then, come out through the left stitch. Pick up the position above the corresponding stitch from behind, yarn over and draw through. Yarn over and draw through all the loops on the hook. Complete the back post half double crochet, work a back post single crochet next. Come out through the left stitch. Insert the hook from the left. Yarn over and draw through. Yarn over and draw through all the loops on the hook. Complete the back post single crochet. Continue with 5 more back post single crochets, working into each adjacent stitch. Then, work 2 back post half double crochets. Skip the next stitch. Pick the position for the front post single crochet below. Work a back post double crochet. Skip the next stitch. Work 2 back post half double crochets to the left, corresponding to each stitch. Work 6 back post single crochets. One back post half double crochet. One back post double crochet. Now you have completed this large motif area. Next, move to the corner motif positions. Pick up the position for the half double crochet to the left. Work a back post half double crochet. Then, pick up the position for the single crochet to the left. Work 2 back post single crochets. Pick up the adjacent loop. Work 1 single crochet. Continue picking up the position for the single crochet. Correspondingly work 2 back post single crochets. Work 1 back post half double crochet in the adjacent loop. Now you have completed the corner motif area. Next, move to the large motif position again. Follow the same crochet method as before. From the connection point, move to the left. Find the single crochet that is above the double crochet. Start from this stitch. Correspondingly work back post double crochets, back post half double crochet, back post single crochet. The position for the two corner motifs is the same as before. Start from the half double crochet. Work all the way to the half double crochet on the other side. Correspondingly work back post half double crochets and back post single crochets. Work single crochets in the starting chain circle. Refer to the chart below. Combine with the previous corresponding crochet. Work all the way to the other end corner that is not connected. When you reach the corresponding position, pick up the braid formed by the slip stitch. Crochet 2 treble crochets. Two chain stitches. Crochet 2 more treble crochets in the same position. For any unconnected corners you encounter, follow this method. For the remaining positions, pick up the large motifs and the two corner motifs, and crochet the corresponding stitches. Finish this round. Crochet to the starting position. Pick up the joining point and crochet 2 treble crochets. Two chain stitches. Then pick up the top of the beginning chain, which is the 4th chain stitch. Pick up 2 loops and crochet a slip stitch to connect. Pull tight. Now the first round is complete. For the next round, you need to change colors. Fasten off the yarn. Continue crocheting the second round. Join the yarn in the chain space at the corner of the previous round. Then make 3 chain stitches as the beginning chain. Work 1 double crochet in the same spot. Then work double crochets into each stitch in sequence. At the corner, pick up the chain space and crochet the corresponding double crochet and chain. No new stitch techniques are used. Refer to the chart to complete this round. When you reach the starting position, pick up the chain space and make 2 double crochets. Make 2 chain stitches. Then join with a slip stitch at the top of the beginning chain. Pull tight. Fasten off the yarn. The second round is now completed. For the next round, crochet the third round. Join the yarn in the chain space at the corner. Then follow the chart to crochet correspondingly. No new stitch techniques are used. Everyone finish this round. After completing, fasten off the yarn. Once done, crochet the fourth round. Start by joining the yarn in the chain space at the corner. Then crochet a special DC5 bobble. First, make 2 chain stitches to start. Then pick up the same chain space, crochet 4 incomplete double crochets. Yarn over. Insert the hook, yarn over and draw through. Then yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. That's an incomplete double crochet. Make 3 more. One. 2. 3. Finally, yarn over and draw through all the loops on the hook. Complete the special DC5 bobble. Then crochet 2 chain stitches for the interval. Then pick up the adjacent chain space to the left. Crochet a DC5 bobble. First, work 5 incomplete double crochets. Finally, yarn over and draw through all the loops on the hook. The fabric will slightly stand out. Complete the DC5 bobble. Then crochet 2 chain stitches for the interval. Next, pick up the chain spaces below. Crochet a DC5 bobble. Separate the bobble stitches with 2 chain stitches. Finish this round. Complete the last bobble stitch. Continue with 2 chain stitches. Then, at the chain space on the left side of the starting bobble stitch, join with a slip stitch. There's no need to pull the slip stitch tight here. Then cut the yarn. At this point, the fourth round is completed. Next, start the fifth round. Join the yarn in the chain space on the left side of the ending bobble stitch from the previous round. Then, chain 1 to start. Correspondingly, make 2 single crochets. Next, pick up the chain space from the third round and insert the hook. Crochet 1 single crochet in the corner chain space. Insert the hook. Wrap the yarn and pull it through. Yarn over and draw through. Then, correspondingly make single crochets. After that, return to the top, pick up the chain space, and continue with one single crochet. Then, pick up the chain space on the left. Make one single crochet. Pick up the gap between the adjacent double crochets below and insert the hook. Crochet one single crochet, wrap the yarn and pull it through as before. After finishing, the puff stitch will stand out forward. Then, return to the same chain space, make one single crochet. From now on, pick up the chain spaces between the puff stitches. Correspondingly make single crochets. At this straight edge position, pick up the chain spaces and crochet 3 single crochets. The centered one single crochet should be inserted into the gap between the double crochets below. At the corner position, correspondingly crochet 4 single crochets. The one single crochet marked with a line below in the chart needs to be picked up from the chain space at the corner below and crocheted. Additionally, at the corner position, you need to crochet a chain for transition. No new stitch techniques or methods are used. Everyone refer to the chart to complete this round. Pay attention that all puff stitches should stand out forward when crocheting. After completing the last single crochet in the chain space, crochet one chain stitch downward, then pick up the starting single crochet stitch and crochet a single crochet to connect. Don't cut the yarn. At this point, the 5th round is completed. Continue to crochet the 6th round. Start with 3 chain stitches as the beginning chain. Pick up the chain space below and crochet 1 double crochet. Then, correspondingly pick up the stitches and crochet double crochets. At the corner chain spaces, crochet double crochets and chains. Refer to the chart to complete this round. Finally, join with a slip stitch at the beginning chain. Pull tight. Cut the yarn. The 6th round is completed. Next, crochet the 7th round. Join the yarn at the corner chain space of the previous round. Then, make 2 chains as a beginning chain. Pick up the first stitch on the left, and work a back post double crochet. Here, come out from the right side of the corresponding stitch. Insert from the left side. Pick up the corresponding stitch from behind. Then, crochet it. Continue to insert the hook in this manner. Correspondingly crochet back post double crochets. At the corner, crochet half double crochets and chains. Everyone refer to the chart to complete this round. Finish the last half double crochet. Continue with 1 chain. Then, pick up the second chain of the beginning chain. Work a single crochet to connect. Now, the 7th round is completed. Move on to the 8th round. Start with 3 chains as a beginning chain. Then, pick up the chain space below and work 2 double crochets. Skip the next 2 stitches. Pick up the next stitch and work 1 single crochet. Continue with the CH3 picket. First, work 3 chain stitches. Then, pick up the single crochet stitch below. Pick up the front loop of that stitch and the loop on the left side. Work 1 slip stitch. Complete the CH3 picket. From now on, I'll refer to this as a picket. In the same position, continue with 1 single crochet. At the same time, I will refer to the position of 2 single crochets and 1 picket. Consider this as 1 picket group. Then skip 3 stitches to the left. Pick up 1 stitch position and work 7 double crochets. I will consider these 7 double crochets as 1 shell stitch. Continue by skipping 3 more stitches. Pick up 1 stitch and work a picket group. First, work 1 single crochet. Then, work 1 picket. Finally, work 1 more single crochet. Complete the picket group. Then skip 3 stitches. Work 1 shell stitch, that is, 7 double crochets. Correspondingly, make the shell stitch in the next position. Work the shell stitches and picket groups. At the corner, pick up the chain space, and correspondingly work double crochets and chains. Everyone refer to the chart. Finish the remaining part. Complete the last picket group. Pick up the starting chain space and continue. Crochet 3 double crochets. Two chain stitches. Then slip stitch into the top of the turning chain. No need to tighten. Proceed to finish off. First, enlarge the loop on the crochet hook. Leave a little yarn tail. Break the yarn. Then count 2 stitches to the left. Insert the hook from behind into the second stitch. Draw the yarn through. Then insert the hook from behind into the center of the V-shaped loop formed by the slip stitch. Draw the yarn through. Adjust slightly. Then secure the yarn tail on the wrong side. Hide it inside the fabric. At this point, the 8th round is complete. That concludes the explanation for the edging section. Up to this point, the entire blanket has been fully explained. If the blanket isn't quite flat after completion, you can use an iron to press it from the wrong side. If anyone has any unclear points during the crocheting process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website, Susan's Family. Support your handwork experience. Enjoy the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next episode.